Yes. So welcome to the third episode. Mm-hmm. We've survived.
Yeah, we did survive.
They haven't fired us yet.
No
one's fired.
I got some good laughs.
We had some people laugh at us, not with us.
We convinced someone to come on.
We got one person to come on.
Didn't take a whole lot.
No.
Correct.
No, it wasn't hard. I think you were game all along.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, good. Well,
So, introduce yourself.
I'm Brian.
Nope.
No.
That is not who you are.
yeah, what is your name?
You guys can say. I'm not going to say that.
This is our very first guest to
And
the
his
Lights
name
and
is?
Siren podcast. Bustin Cream Bryan.
No, please do not air that.
Welcome, Brian.
Thank you.
I'm Anders.
I'm still Preston.
Hi, Preston.
And I'm Brian.
So tell us about yourself.
Don't give too much detail.
No, all the detail.
Whatever you want the world to know.
I'm
Correct.
from a state north of where we are,
Okay.
which is unknown, right?
And yep. And
Yeah, for now.
it's cold.
It's cold and you get more snow than most states.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're from Alberta?
Yes.
No, Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
Dude, as soon as you start talking, they're like, I know where the fuck you're from.
Yep. Yeah. You'll pick up on it.
Will you? Can
Yeah.
you do the accent real
It's just a
quick?
general area.
Do you know Mark Wahlberg?
How do you start your car?
How do I start it or how do I park it?
You pocket?
How do I park it?
How do you
Pocket
park your
in the
car?
car park.
So now that we
Anyways.
know I'm from Massachusetts,
Now we know you're from
Yep.
Mass.
Mass
Massachusetts.
So, how long have you been doing this?
podcast one day, but
3 minutes and
EMS.
40 seconds.
Yep. I've been in EMS about 5 years. Right before COVID started to hit.
Oops.
Moron.
Yeah, I know. I got into it before that, so I understood, normal for a little bit, or as however normal EMS can get.
Correct.
Got my EMT beginning of 2019, and few things went wrong in the process of getting my medic. I had to defer from school for a year because of 2020. I was going through the fire academy at that time. Just trying to be a hero.
Yep.
You are a hero.
Thank you.
He is a hero.
Amazing. And then I got my paramedic about 2 years ago, and just worked in a town as a firefighter paramedic.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You're a hero and a lifesaver.
No, because you're usually married to the ambulance for a lot of your beginning of the career. So I was basically a paramedic with, the knowledge of a firefighter. But
You
And
could
you
hump a hose, but you never touched one.
yeah,
You got to watch your friends put out fires
I got to watch all of my brothers put out fires. Yep.
and got to yell.
Go.
brothers!
That's it. Yeah.
That was perfect.
It was amazing.
All right.
So,
How do I turn down my headphones a little bit?
you are the yellow one.
I'm 4?
No, so that
Are you
that
colorblind?
knob, top knobs, the 4 knobs right there.
Oh.
Next one over. No, 2. Next one. That one.
That's
Turn-
green.
Fucking whatever.
Oh, that's much better. Is that?
Yeah, but no. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That. There we go.
Anyways.
Okay, that's much better. It was a little loud. I felt like y'all were screaming in my ears.
Okay.
I didn't dislike it. It was just a little overstimulating.
It's for the tism. Too much for the tism.
All right. What do y'all want to talk about today?
I think we're gonna. I think the safe one that we had discussed that we were gonna do was our favorite nursing home stories, because
Yeah.
I feel like the second idea that we have is gonna get real angry, and we need to talk about that first before we get into it.
I want to be more caffeinated because I want to talk about that right now.
I know.
I looked him right in the eyes, just so you know. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But
I have some choice words, but
everyone does.
Anyways,
Nursing homes.
we'll talk about our favorite nursing homes, and then
favorite or
our favorite nursing home stories.
okay.
Yours
Because
in
I don't
general.
have a favorite nursing home.
Y'all want to play a fun little game?
Oh, I have a favorite nursing home.
I have some favorites too.
I have a favorite nursing home.
All right. Raise your hand if you have ever heard, "It's not my patient." Or what about, "I just got here"?
Just got here.
I swear they were alive when I checked on them.
Yep. Their nurse is on lunch or dinner or break.
Yeah. Their nurse is busy,
Yep.
somewhere else.
How about this patient is new to me?
Yep.
Yep. Oh, hey, put your hand up.
This patient just got here.
This is a terrible game we're playing. Now I'm kind of sad.
This patient won't wake up when I try to talk to them, but it's 1 a.m.
This just happened.
Yeah. They're lethargic at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Usually at 1 a.m. I'm lethargic too.
Yeah, it's crazy how many old people have syncopal episodes in the middle of the night when I'm trying to have a syncopal episode, but we're not allowed to.
Call a spade a spade.
Yeah. So I'll start this one off.
Yeah.
Just so you can see how uncomfortable we're going to make this. So this was I had this on my ride time when I was in medic school. And we discussed this. I'm an idiot. I went straight from EMT to medic.
Yep.
With no experience. Don't do that. Terrible fucking idea.
Wait, Brian, did you do the same?
Well, because I went to the fire academy for a year, I was able to get quite a few years of IFT. Some of the smartest people I know went from EMT school to paramedics because they didn't get corrupted by IFT or convalescent, however you say it.
Yeah.
They just their whole ride was just either in the fire service as a EMT paramedic, and they just learned the right way. Obviously, you have the influences of people who did IFT, but they were never there and they never got that corruption.
Yeah.
So all the power to them. But I think just quickly add the reason people have that corruption when they do IFT, they get burnt out and they learn the wrong way, and they're just accustomed to doing it a certain way, and just negativity breeds negativity in a sense, and that's what IFT is.
Yeah.
If you don't remember where you've come from, you're going to hate this job, man.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, anyways, back to the funnies.
Sorry to get serious.
So I'm in my rides. I'm at one of the busiest stations in the county, which in the county is bananas anyways. But this rescue typically ran high teens consistently on a daily basis. So, but they weren't transport. This is with the fire department because fire department didn't transport down there. So we go to this absolute shithole. It constantly, you could smell the bleach before you got out of the rescue.
At least it smelled like bleach.
Dude, yeah, it was to cover up all the piss and shit and sepsis and just rotting people that they would leave there.
But I think that goes back to our poopery discussion yesterday. I'd rather just stink.
That's true. I'd rather just smell the shit instead of like Clorox and shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we go in. It was for something completely unrelated, right? And so you guys would know this. When you walk into a nursing home, you constantly peek in the rooms while you're walking.
Yeah.
You're like, what's here? What's here?
They're also
what's here?
peeking out
what's
at
here?
you.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they'll catch a quick peek, but you're always like, what's here? I didn't know the rule with this. At this nursing home, do not peek. You know the room that you're going to, and you go to that room. That's your room. You're going to go there.
You don't want them to see you.
You don't
want
want
to see them.
You don't want to know what's happening in the other rooms. So we're going. I'm, a little bit behind. The guys, they're strolling in pretty quick. And I'm like, da, 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 da. I look to my left, and there is a person very much doing this. Very pale, very much covered in vomit.
I'm not laughing at we're not laughing at the person.
No, we are.
It's not the person.
Well,
it's me. You should be laughing at me.
No, so I think what's funny, just for context, is that all of us have been in that situation.
Yep.
None of us are making fun of that specific person.
Correct.
Jesus, have we all been there?
Where you accidentally find something that you weren't supposed to find.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm walking and I see it and I'm like, and I'm looking and I go, hey, the guy I'm following. I was like, hey, I think this is the room. He goes, no, we're on the third hall. It's way back here. And I was like, hold on. He's like, what? I was like, I think we have another one here too. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, hey man, I think you have another one here too. And so his partner, he's like, yeah, I'll go check it out. He comes back. He's like, what's up? And he peeks his head in and he goes, oh, they're dead. I was like, yeah, they're dead. And he yells, he goes, hey, do you guys know that this person's dead? And they're like, what? And I'm like, he goes like, yeah. He's like, the door's open and everything. You know, this person's dead, right? And dude, dead, the deadest. So dead. Like, has been dead and is rigged. And this is like at shift change. So they definitely did not check in on them at shift change.
You said he was in a chair?
No, in bed.
Oh, in bed.
In bed is the color of like the nice blues on our Bang. Shout out, not official sponsor. Sorry, we're drinking Ghost today.
I know. I'm sorry, Bang.
The Blizzard limited our choices, but
don't narrow down where we are.
oh
Well, I mean, half the country got a blizzard yesterday.
they all
so-
got the
fair enough.
blizzards. But yeah, so they
that circle it's going to get smaller and smaller, and
dude, they can find all of us.
they could just look us up.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right, so you found a dead one.
Yeah. So it just a DOA. And that was so common there where you're like, oh, we're going for here. And then you're like, oh, I accidentally found this person. So I want to rattle off a few for this home because the people that are from Florida that are listening to this are going to go, oh, I know exactly which house, which nursing home this is.
There's so many, you have to do a lightning round.
Yes. Yep. There was we got a call one time for a patient who fell, had hit his head, and was combative. We get there, and we're like, hey, where's this person? They're like, I don't know. And we're like, well, we don't know either. They're like, who called? He's like, I did. Well, where did you see him? I don't know. He was right here. Where'd he go? I don't know. Where's his room? Here. Walk in there. No one there. Walk back out. He's not in his room. And then he's like, I don't know, man. And we're like, well, we don't know either. Like, what do you want? He's like, I don't know. Find him. That's literally what he said. I don't know. Find him.
Go find this person.
Go fucking find him.
It's an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah. What does he look like? He looks like a guy and he has blood on his head. And we're like, okay. And so we did our due diligence, looked, didn't find anyone. We're like, call us back if you happen to find the person you are in charge of. That was one. And then this is a common news story. There was a lady outside smoking in a wheelchair and,
She on oxygen?
nope, not on oxygen.
No, I think I know where this one's going.
And the nurse tech was like, hey, it's time for you to come inside. And she's like, fuck you, I'm smoking still. And she said, no, fuck you, you're going inside, and starts dragging the wheelchair behind her. And the lady's like, no, let me finish my cigarette. Wheelchair tips. She hits her head on the curb. And this is all on camera. So you can Google it. I mean, you're not going to find it, but she lifts the wheelchair back up with the lady in it with help of someone else and wheels them back inside. And the lady now in the wheelchair is like this.
She's just snoozing. She had a cigarette. Now she needs a nap.
Took a super snooze.
She just needs a nap.
Yeah. And they wheeled her back into her room and put her in bed. And then they called a few hours later and they're like, oh no, this is so crazy.
Wow, she must have fallen.
What happened? What happened? She has a giant lump on her head and it's actively bleeding and now she's seizing, but she doesn't have a seizure disorder. It's so crazy. What's going on?
That's crazy.
She fell out of her wheelchair, banged her head, seized, got back in her wheelchair.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's
no,
how we
no,
found
no,
her.
dude. No. She was in bed the whole time, and the magical boop ghost came by and booped her on her head.
That story sounds a whole lot like when you first become an EMT, you do the stretcher ops video. It's like, oh, this crew tipped the patient over and then left them there for 5 minutes to try to find help. That's what that sounded like.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this person fell magically.
Just help them up.
Yeah, that's it.
I thought you were going to talk about, and this is genuinely a tragic story. I got to keep a straight face. It's genuinely a tragic story, but it was a nursing home in Florida, and like a 90-something-year-old woman with dementia wandered out and fell into the pond by the nursing home. And guess what's in ponds in Florida?
Alligators.
Alligators.
Nom, 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 nom,
And
nom,
they had a snack.
had a super snack.
They snacked.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
Good day to be an alligator.
Yeah.
Bad day
Yeah.
to be a dementia patient.
Correct.
Yeah.
Dude, they lose them there all the time.
Yeah.
They just wander.
Yeah.
But they have so many door codes, and they won't tell you them. So I don't know how patients can escape when we're trying to wheel out a sick patient and we can't even open the door.
Dude, I'm still convinced that they open the door and let them out. They're like, be free.
Maybe.
It doesn't. That's the only thing that makes sense. We can't get in when we have to get in, or out when we have to get out.
All the fuckery that they participate in
How do you-
as well. Like
Yeah.
the whole thing with the 64, not 6404, you're taking this patient against
Yeah.
their will.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Stories.
what's
us
your
a story.
favorite nursing home situations you've run into?
So I'll tell you one. It's kind of like messed up, but it's Christmas. So we had, was it Christmas of 22? I worked Christmas and then New Year's, and both days were absolutely wild. As holidays are. We went to this nursing home. We had just had like a great breakfast on Christmas, right? Amazing, like eggs, bacon, sausage, like the whole
Very
9 yards.
firefighter of you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. The station smelled amazing. We were full stomachs, just
Ate
like
too much.
oh.
You're sitting in a chair like
Yeah, we're at the table still, and we're about to get into the lounge chairs, just like
Celebrating
go.
Jeebus's birthday.
absolutely go tits up, take a good nap. We get called for. I think it got called in for like a CPR in progress at local nursing home. So we go there and we respond. We sent, is common where I'm from, all stations sent an engine to chase the ambulance. So you had 2 in the engine, 2 in the ambulance. We decided to put a 3rd in the ambulance just in case, like for equipment. So we went to this nursing home. Halfway to the nursing home, they call us and say patient has a DNR. So it got called out as CPR in progress. Keep that in your mind. We get there. We go to the room. We get pointed down the hallway and to a room. They're like, oh, it's this room. Go down there. We get to the room. Nobody's there. Not even in the hallway. Like the nurse was printing out paperwork for some reason like they do at the nursing station. There's this dude laying on the ground with a pool of blood by his head. He has a blown pupil
icky.
and just dead. Just obvious traumatic injury.
In the hallway?
No, in his room.
Okay.
In his room. Turns out he was a fall risk. So
Of course he
nobody,
was.
and the nurse, I just checked on him 30 minutes ago when I got in. Yeah. Okay. He's been dead a while.
Yeah.
This blood is starting to like solidify here.
He hasn't moved from that spot on the ground.
No. Yeah, he was there when I saw him. I thought he was okay taking a nap. So we so they eventually they bring us the DNR. We're like, "Oh, was CPR ever started?" They're like, "No." I'm like, "Well, why?" We got updated halfway here with, "Oh, he's a DNR." And it got toned out as CPR in progress. Why did nobody start CPR? And, nobody was accompanying him when we got here. The nurse just stuttered, "Oh, I don't know. Patient's new to me. He was fine half hour ago." So, like I said, he wound up falling. It looked like he fell out of bed. And those side tables, look like the ones that wheel.
Yeah.
The bottom of it, he hit his head on the corner of that metal part, and he just dead. Unfortunate. Very sad. Christmas morning. And that's how you start your Christmas morning.
I mean, he really gets to go see Jesus for the holidays.
Yeah.
Dude.
So we wound up calling the police to come and investigate, because this isn't the first time something like this has happened at this nursing home. So we called the police, and the police are going to investigate, and then they're going to call the ME. But we have it as a DOA,
Yeah.
Pretty unfortunate, but, that's, if I could encompass this nursing home as a whole, that kind of patient care and, that kind of encompasses the whole nursing home.
I feel that. A lot of nursing homes seem to fall under that umbrella.
Yeah, but like no nurse was there. Like, for all we know, we're the first people to see this patient.
Yeah.
Nobody, not even like an aide or like a CNA was there with the patient. Just like down the hallway in that room, you'll find them.
Yeah. I mean, that one that's, north end of the county, that's like that. You go up to a floor and it's one nurse for like 10, 15 rooms.
Oh man. You want to talk about like patient to nurse ratios? Where I'm from, at night, a local hospital, I would talk to the nurses. It was about probably similar size to what we have here, like a 42 bed ER or so. They would have 4 nurses. 4 nurses on the night shift. They wouldn't close any part of the hospital down in the ER. There's just 4 nurses to like 11 patients.
That's insane.
And then
ridiculous.
In the hall beds, it was just whoever was the most competent patient or got to oversee the other patients.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like dogs leading your horses. I was like, something
I don't
like
know.
that.
Yes.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Let the dogs watch the horses.
Who
There
the
is
fuck
a
is that?
saying there. I'm not country enough.
I know what it is. Yeah.
We have one kind of. We visited it frequently. It was right by our station at my old employer. And you know how they always change their names all the time to cover up that they're a shitty facility that's going to torture your parents.
Rebranding.
Yeah.
They're like, if I can't delete these Yelp reviews, I'm just going to change my name.
Yeah. When they get a review on there and it says, my parent died of natural causes, the natural causes being they laid in their own excrement for 5 days because they didn't have a nurse. It was one of those kind of facilities.
Yep.
We go out there at like 9 o'clock in the morning for a unconscious, fainting, unresponsive, whatever they toned it out at the time. And it's a guy, he's dead. He's been dead. He's rigged. And when we go in and look at him, we have to do like a full assessment because in this county, every paramedic was a deputy coroner. So we're looking over this guy and inside his mouth are medications. Oh, man. Yeah, pills. And we go and talk to the nurse, and the nurse says that they haven't done med pass yet that morning. So this guy was dead before bedtime med pass, and a nurse came in or someone and dumped pills in this guy's dry, dead mouth and then left him there. That's tomorrow's problem. Kind of like when the internet goes out on your truck and you're like, next shift can take care of that.
Sounds like an A shift problem.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, A shift.
But we did that all the time. Actually, that was the same place we went to for the guy who had the big abscess on his butt we talked about last time.
Yeah.
All the time.
I think one of the funniest ones, I've never run into this anywhere else. Only one time, not the same nursing home. There's no other way to describe it, the situation that came about aside from the fact that that the nursing home and the nursing director knew that they killed this person, and they tried everything that they possibly could do to cover it up.
Yeah.
So get there. This person still alive, just flooded. They are a recovering CVA patient. So neurodeficits, and is now aphasic. So there's no communication.
Yeah.
Their nurse button, they don't have the mobility to get to the nurse button, nor do they have the ability to be like, hey, I need help.
I'm full.
So they had a peg tube,
Yeah.
a feeding tube, right?
Right.
So feeding tubes, nursing, right?
Yeah.
You run it. The patient has to be elevated,
Yep.
correct? And then when when the feeding's done, it's shut off. The patient has to remain elevated for, I forget the period of time.
A period of time.
It's a long period of time, and then they can lay down.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like drinking a gallon of milk. You don't want to lay down right after. You got to sit up for a little while, let that stuff settle.
How about this? So now it's morning time at shift change,
Oh.
and this is dinner, and it's a double bottle hung up,
Oh, no.
and it was just pumping, and this person was flat
Uh-oh.
all night long. So this person is sitting here in their bed, and you can hear it. Just sounds every time they're breathing, because their lungs are full of feed.
Is that where it's supposed to be?
It's not.
Oh, I thought it might absorb faster through your lung tissue.
Oh well, they tried. It didn't.
No, that's unfortunate.
It was, dude. They white dragoned her. They have.
Don't look that up.
Don't look that up. She's sitting there. It's coming out of her mouth, and it's coming out of her nose, dripping out of her nose.
Oh,
and she's
no.
just looking at us, and I'm like, I am so sorry. We are going to do everything we can to fix this. And so suctioning and like nasal suctioning and just everything we can to try to get there, to clear out that airway. And she's awake. She's looking around. And the nurse is like, she vomited. I'm like, no, she did not vomit. I was like, what did she vomit? So she vomited her food. I'm like, no. You guys drown her in her food. It's coming out of her nose. They're like, no, it's not. I'm like, look at the color on her fucking face. Look at the shit that's coming out of her fucking nose, in her mouth. And then look at those fucking bottles that are up there. Also, look at the fact that this tube feed's still running. I'm like, we are shutting this off right now in front of you. And they're like, it's a fucking coincidence.
Yeah. Wow.
It's so crazy.
Who knew? I didn't
now-
know this was my patient.
So now, as if medical, like electronic records don't continue to exist, you can tighten that silver bar and it'll stay up.
The other one.
The back silver bar. Yeah. Turn it the other direction. It spins out. There you go. And then lift it up. There you go.
Professional.
Nice.
Professionals. So
Back onto
back onto it.
people.
Unprofessional / almost murderers. I don't know.
It's a fine line.
It's a very fine line. They have all of her paper charts. They printed it off to give it to fire and EMS for everyone to transport her, because obviously she's going to a hospital. The nursing director comes down and takes a big fat Sharpie and starts going and sharpieing out everyone's initials that were on the patient care stuff. So like when you started a tube feed, the tech had to sign off on the tube feed, signing off, and she's markering over it. And then, because you could still see it, then she just starts cutting it, and she starts cutting out all of this stuff and is throwing it away. So now the fire lieutenant is losing their fucking mind. Like, you're destroying documents. And the nurse is like, you don't have the medical clearance to see this. And then it turned into a big fuck you game. Then it turned into the fire chief happened to be in the area, and they're like, hey man, we need you down here. So the chief comes in. Chief is like, if you don't stop doing this, like, we're getting police in. And they're just fucking cutting up and destroying and shredding any document that they possibly could. They're throwing it in there. So now everyone's like fighting over this paper shredder and like grabbing at documents. Dude, it's like a tug of war over these documents now. Then the police come, and this is the nursing director of this very expensive nursing home. It's not a piece of shit. She is flipping out. Then she's like, these EMTs assaulted me. They're trying to take our private records from us. And it turned into that. All while this lady is literally drowning in tube feed. And that's when I've decided I am going to do everything I can to die before I have to be in a nursing home because they'll finish me off. I'm so confident at this.
Yeah.
It's insane. But
There's
yeah,
more success rates with like nursing homes killing patients than successful suicides.
than successful rehabs.
I don't know if that's allowed on here, but you guys are taking it.
I mean, we don't call them successful suicides. We call them completed.
Completed.
Yeah. Because not a success, you insensitive
Well,
jerk.
it's a success for whoever wanted to do it. You know, it's. I mean, I don't condone it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, yeah. So nursing homes have been superb. Not hospice nursing homes. Let's get that straight.
Yeah, hospice nursing homes.
Shout out hospice nursing homes.
Those people actually care.
Yeah, they do. They have a
actually
heart.
care about their job and are good at it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get to be like an RN. I know plenty of RNs who are very competent and they don't work in nursing homes, but like nursing home nurses are a different breed because they'll just, I don't know. I've talked to nurses and they say we learn the same things. Obviously, they learn the same curriculum. They take the same test.
Yeah.
And then they just choose, I'll get experience by going to a nursing home maybe.
Yeah.
And then they just stay there. And maybe it's the same as like if you're an EMT or paramedic in IFT, you just develop bad habits.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
corners.
I'm not trying to bash nurses. Nurses have, they help us, we help them.
Yes.
You know,
Correct.
And
We're
they're
a
great
team.
nurses that work at nursing homes.
There are.
But it's an old supervisor of mine said that working in healthcare is kind of like herding cattle. If something isn't unique or funny, you'll never remember it. And I think for a lot of people who go into that long-term nursing care in nursing homes and assisted living, it ends up being like a rescue dog kennel. You know, you stop seeing them as people. And I'm not going to fault them for that because, you know, we kind of get there too. We end up being taxi drivers. And it's,
You can easily be that.
but the problem is it ends up with life and death situations and people suffering needlessly.
And then I would also like to interject this, of which I would love for some way to make this information become more viral or aware to people. How about the fact that nursing schools in Florida, they stopped auditing over 10,000 fake nurses who have passed the NCLEX and are currently practicing in America. And they stopped at 10,000 or something stupid. And they're like, that's not a problem. Now a paramedic being a nurse is a problem. Right. There's no way.
impossible.
But we will let these people that paid off a school, did zero clinical or education time, and literally just crammed for an NCLEX test, who passed the test, which should fucking tell you something. We're just going to let them keep practicing.
Yeah.
There's thousands and thousands and thousands of those people living among us.
Yeah.
Just being nurses.
Yep.
I would love for more people to know about that.
Well, and the reason
I heard about that where I was from.
yeah.
Yeah.
oh, that's
that was-
nationwide.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
It's
I
a
heard about all
nationwide
that.
thing.
Yeah, and that's the joke amongst nurses now. It's like, oh, where'd you graduate? Florida?
And you're like, yes,
Paramedic.
Absolutely.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh,
You're like, unfortunately for me, I had to do like twice as much clinical time.
yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know I could just buy my way into a nursing certificate.
Yeah.
I know. I wish they publicized
How many
that more.
clinical hours did y'all do for your paramedic?
700,000.
A lot.
You did 1,000?
No, I did 400 hospital hours.
That's crazy.
400. The requirement, like for
I did 400 too.
you did?
Yeah.
Isn't it ridiculous? Like I had all my skills
hundreds.
done. My skills were done in 150 hours.
Right.
I was just hanging out.
Yeah, and every time they sent me for my OR rotations for intubations, it was always on a day where they're like, "Oh, we're doing like 4 LMAs for food boluses."
Yeah.
I was in an OR. I was fortunate enough to go to an outpatient, very, very great anesthesiologist that was partnered with the program. And I give him a lot of credit. I was in there the second time I went in there. There was just a lot of like ocular surgeries. So they were just completely awake the whole time. I think I saw 5 of them. It was excellent to watch. But I mean, I got my hours done, but I'd like to have done airways, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're so few and far between, especially where we are now. I mean, in 5 years, I've intubated maybe 2 or 3, maybe.
And I mean, now with where we are, we don't even get a whole lot of practice with that unless you're, you know, higher certification or, you know, well, I personally don't agree with that. I think that should be your primary. It's the most secure airways and ET tube.
You should just be good at it.
Paramedics suck at it because the statistics when I went through school was like 61% first pass. And I mean, we did get like $100,000 worth of simulades. Those are actually really nice to intubate. They're just sticky. You gotta lube them up.
Yeah.
Well,
and spit in their mouth.
Anyways, speaking of spitting in mouths at nursing homes, we digressed.
We did digress, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have one from a nursing home.
Dude, let's wrap this up with a nursing home.
And then we can get super spicy.
And then we're going to get real spicy over, I think, the next topic. I think we'll be good with this.
Yeah. So, same nursing home. I think we had 2 nursing homes. One was an assisted living. It was a small town. Maybe like a population of 15,000. We had 2 nursing homes. And this one specific one, we just always went to for these bad ones. The other one was just like, oh, they need to go to the hospital because they have an altered mental status. Like, how can you tell? They're already altered.
They have dementia.
Right.
Like, yeah. But we're short-staffed.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Remember that one time, not that long ago?
I think that was that the 6404 one?
No, where they said that they called and they lied to the family. They said that she's having increased weakness, but then they forgot that the son is in the room. And they were like, oh, well, really what it is she's big and we don't have any staff.
Oh, that's
I've heard
right.
about, I've heard
and
about
they
that.
called to transfer her out.
Yeah, that was...
Wow.
Fuck that.
That was the one where they have the one nurse on the floor. And he said he has to go and lift him.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have enough time to go and lift her.
Yeah, I don't have enough time. And
You were telling me about
the
this
next
one.
people that are coming in are too small. They're not strong enough to lift her. So she has to go out. And I was
Like
man.
frequently, right?
Dude.
That happened frequently?
I don't know, but I know that the fire lieutenant said, I'll interject here. If you ever fucking call me again for this.
Come on.
What?
Oh, I gotta find a sensor now. At
You don't have to.
36
So
minutes.
what?
Beep.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he
Anyways.
doesn't want his name on here.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, have fun editing that.
Yeah.
I'll
mental
buy you
note.
something.
So continue.
So this
Sorry.
nursing home that we went to this one time, I think it was around like evening time. We go there for epistaxis. So we go in and, this male nurse points us to the room. Whatever, we go down there. We go inside. There's this elderly dementia patient laying almost completely supine, having a bloody nose.
Yeah.
And he's just gargling.
Gargling on blood.
Like if you go to a patient if you're doing a transfer for like a dialysis patient and they haven't gone in a couple days and they're full, like that's what he sounded like. Just like, like bubbly. Like you can hear it here.
Like it would have been really cool if anyone at that nursing home sat him up.
Like
Just sit him up.
yeah, like we're
Turn
not
him on the side. You don't even have to sit him up.
honestly just like he would have been better off in a wheelchair slumped over.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least everything would have run downhill.
Right. Yeah. But this guy was just continuously aspirating on his own blood and it was clotty. So we went in there again, no nurse present. They just pointed fingers, said this room, go pick him up and take him out. So he's laying like almost completely supine. We go in, we sit him up immediately and he has dementia. So he's just like so confused. He doesn't know what's happening. And he just keeps saying, as we're trying to help him out, he's like, what you doing, goddammit? Just like frequently just like, what are you doing to me? I feel so bad for this guy. But like that's all he was saying. So we go in, we sit him up. The nurse comes in. And I'm like, when did he start having this bloody nose? He's like, oh, about, maybe 20 minutes ago, maybe 30 minutes in total. So 30 minutes, he had it for 20 minutes. We thought it was going to stop. It didn't stop. We called 911. And it's been about 10 minutes. We got there in maybe less than 10 minutes and found 30 minutes total. So he's been laying supine with his head back, aspirating on blood for 30 minutes. And it's just still going. He's on blood thinners. We take him, we put him on our stretcher, have him sitting straight up, and he's just vomiting up clots.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And it's just like, I turned to the nurse, I said, why didn't you sit him up? He's like, well, I thought you were supposed to lean them back and have their head up. Like, when you got a bloody nose as a kid, your mom's like, oh, tilt your head back and pinch your nose.
Yeah, so you vomit?
Yeah, so you just swallow everything, and if whatever you don't swallow, you breathe in.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh yeah, I thought you're supposed to like lay them back and tilt their head up.
And waterboard them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely just suffocate them.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Thanks
that's
to
what they-
W.
That's what they basically did. I'm like, this dude was aspirating blood for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like simple. You get called out for a bloody nose. It's like, oh, simple bloody nose.
But that's the thing is that it just goes back into your lung tissue and recycles.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Absorption and everything.
Kind of like the peg tube feeding.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You
Similar.
can put anything in your lungs.
Yeah, you can.
You can put anything there if you're brave enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's just like, I felt so bad for this guy. Imagine being confused out of your mind, just having a bloody nose, and this guy coming in and saying, tilt your head back and breathe your blood in. It's like, until the EMS arrives.
That's pretty unpleasant spot to put myself in.
Yeah.
These stories have been kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, and again, we'll wrap it up because we're far into it, but I mean, like, I think it's safe to say that every single emergency, like first responder that goes to nursing homes has all heard the same things. And you feel bad for the patients, but you laugh comically every time you go in there. You're like, if I had a nickel for every fucking time I've heard one of those 6 things, not a single person is being taken care of.
No.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's kind of like going in a gas station bathroom. You chuckle because you know what you're walking into, and sometimes you're surprised because they're relatively nice, and other times you're like, yeah, this is exactly what I expected.
exactly what you go into.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And none of them compare to Buc-ee's. A Buc-ee's bathroom, fucking take them all.
I've never been to a Buc-ee's.
Yeah, well,
no.
No.
sorry.
That's not how you pronounce it.
How do you pronounce it?
The Bussies.
The bussies.
Dude, I love bussies.
Yeah. No, you do.
Well, I think we're at the end of this. We should probably.
Yeah, we'll wrap it.
One more thing though, like if the reason we laugh is not because we're just sick people, it's like if we were to hold on to every sad story and be emotional over them, we would, we'd be just like miserable, more miserable. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are miserable.
yeah, we're
sociopaths.
miserable. Yeah, I mean, I was talking the other day, like why, you don't have to put this on the air if you don't want to, but like if you're not like there's no way out of EMS once you get into EMS.
It's very hard.
I've tried to just get a part-time job, just data entry. And it's just like, my resume is just 5 years of EMS.
Right.
Like, I just want to make
What? No. 5 years of data entry for a medical service.
That's what I say. Yeah. Well, I mean, what am I going to say? I write reports and
Yeah.
No,
then they
no,
ask you, they'll ask you, how do you handle stress? And you're like, do you really want to know?
You enter demographic data for multiple individuals.
you can
every
phrase
day.
it however you want, but the company at the top of the resume is just going to say EMS agency.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's not data entry.
Yeah.
And at this point, they're probably using AI to throw your resume out before they ever read it.
Good.
Absolutely.
They should throw Brian's out.
They'll see my
Yeah.
name and where I'm from, and they'll be like, oh,
I'm like,
Oh, not
he
this
doesn't
guy.
know how to talk.
no,
Yeah.
he talks dumb.
Yeah, he's half frozen anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
much.
Well, we're gonna wrap this, and the next episode we're gonna talk about some
Some spicy stuff.
some complicated things.
I gotta air some of my grievances.
So probably
laundry.
probably more of a venting episode than anything else.
Yeah. It'll probably play out pretty well. Probably be interesting.
Yeah.
But
All right. Thanks
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Boston.
yeah.
Wow. Just like pinpointed on a map. Why don't you?
No, that's not what I said.
Bustin'.
Boston Cream.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, now you did.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Now you gave it away.
Bye, guys.